Hello everybody and welcome to Wine and World. My name is Andreas, sommelier at Wine and World, and today we're going to talk about the Bordeaux blend. The Bordeaux blend is called the Bordeaux blend because it was from Bordeaux in France it originated. The most famous grape in the world, perhaps Cabernet Sauvignon, is the main grape in the Bordeaux blend, but it is often backed up by Merlot and sometimes also Cabernet Franc. This wine combination can be found not only in France, it is all over the world. Almost every country that produces wine usually has some variation of this blend. Today we are going to taste 4 wines, one from the west side of the Bordeaux Delta, one from the east side, then we're going to taste one from California, and then we are going to taste one from Italy, from Tuscany. Is it Tuscany? It is Tuscany. And the American one is from Sonoma. They are also different when it comes to vintage. We have the French one from the west side is 2008, east side 2009, which is a very good but quite hot year. United States 2013, and the Italian one is 2015. So it's going to be interesting both to see the differences of what this blend, how this blend tastes like in the different countries, but also the differences in the vintage. The Cabernet Sauvignon grape is a thick-skinned grape with a lot of color. So wines that are super dark and have a lot of tannins and leaves your tongue blue, they usually or could have a large amount of Cabernet Sauvignon in them. Also perhaps Malbec, Syrah, they are also quite heavy on the color. Merlot is more feminine, as we say, more elegant, not as much tannin and not as much color. And the Cabernet Franc grape, which also is very famous in the Loire Valley and in France, is a grape type that in Loire sometimes they make 100% a wine that is 100% Cabernet Franc. It has a certain green pepper aroma that not everyone likes, so it hasn't caught on 100% with the general public, but there are some famous wines there that are from 100% Cabernet Franc. In Bordeaux it is usually blended into the so-called Bordeaux blend wines. So with us today we have one wine from the west side of the Delta, the Bordeaux Delta, and it is 60% Cabernet Sauvignon and the rest is Merlot. This one is from the east side. This is also also has 30% Cabernet Franc in it. This United States Sauvignon, Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, and this one from Tuscany, also primarily Cabernet Sauvignon and some Merlot. So let's start out with West Side Bordeaux. This wine is not young, it is 2008, so it has 10 years on its back, and we can see this on the coloring. A really young wine will be, or from at least these grapes, will be more red-purple. This one is more red-orange. At least it has a red center and it has kind of orange brick stone edges, light red, orange reddish. This is very typical for older wines. This of course is not old. If you have really old wines, then you would also the rim around the red center will be broader and broader. So if you have a very old wine, say from 1960 or something like that, the entire wine perhaps could be almost orange looking. It will have lost the redness, but it could be still fantastic. So on the smell, has a little bit of the older notes in it. It is the flavor profile on this one should be more married together. Clear red fruit, like dark, sweet cherry, and the kind of jammy notes, kind of plumish, plum jam. Also nicely integrated with the oak, vanilla spice. Let's have a taste. Medium on acid. Not very much tannins at all, actually. I would say medium on tannins. Very fresh, but it's fresh, but still with older aroma notes. Prunes, spice, on top of the also fresh fruit that is there. So it's I would say it's a fairly complex wine. I don't know, it is what's the alcohol content? No, this one is 13%. It's not a lot, but it feels, that's why it feels kind of not thin, but it doesn't feel like, you know, a heavy sweet or a heavy fruity wine. The alcohol on this one is 14, so that's 2009 is hotter year, so then it would have developed more alcohol. The United States one is also 14%, and this Tuscany is 13. So let's move on to 2009 East Side Bordeaux. Color-wise, it's a 1 year between them. This one also has orange rims, so it has the characteristics of a wine that has aged for a little bit. This the west side has more aromas from the oak, more spicy. This one has the kind of green bell pepper aromas that I mentioned earlier from the Cabernet Franc, and I believe this one actually has 30% Cabernet Franc, so this is really noticeable on the nose of the wine. It's 10% Merlot and it's 60% Cabernet Sauvignon. Yeah, you can really feel the Cabernet Franc in there. This one has a lot more tannins. So this one 60% Cabernet Sauvignon and 40% of the Merlot. So it's not as much tannins, more balanced in a way. This one has just 10% of the Merlot, and the wine is very cool in a way. It has more of the more dark red fruit character. You could associate this with both licorice and kind of aromas that you would get from, like the perception that you could get from kind of forest floor leaves, that sort of thing. If you take those senses and mix them up with berries, you would get more of a rustic darker berry thing. That's at least my way of kind of conceptualizing it. More twiggy, darker, more fine balanced, easier to drink. This one definitely needs food, way more tannins. But not a bad wine at all, very nice wine. Let's move over to the 2013 Cabernet Sauvignon from Sonoma. This one is definitely kind of red purple, clear purple around the edges. Dark, everyone is dark, you can't see your finger through any of them. Everyone is dark because the Cabernet Sauvignon grape, which is the primary grape in these blends, are very high in color. But this one clearly purple on the edges. Kind of a sour sherry note on the nose. Feels kind of acidic, sharp in a way when I smell it. Not so much clear vanilla and spices, but I can really smell the wood. But it might be, you know, these ones are older, so the spices, everything's more integrated. But this one, as I mentioned, this could be more sharp. There's also some twig and some forest in here. Yeah, let's taste it. It delivers on the nose. The taste is of sour cherries plus not fully integrated spice from the oak. It is very fresh. Not kind of, it doesn't have the cold, dark forest licorice types aromas that I get from the one with the 30% Cabernet Franc. This one is way more on the fruit side, and it's also younger, way younger, 2013. This one kind of hits me as a nice wine to just sit and sip, because it's so full of fruit and it's so fresh. This one with the 30% Cabernet Franc, the east side of Bordeaux. This one definitely needs food, and this the west side is you could drink it alone, and you could also have it with food. And then we will move over to Tuscany. So this is actually a Bordeaux blend type from Italy. Tuscany also has the so-called Super Tuscan wines. These are a mix of Cabernet Sauvignon and Sangiovese often. This one is a mix of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. And I think actually also Petit Verdot, but it's only 4%. Compared in color, United States one was purple. This one is red with kind of pink edges. This one, the east side is it's way more kind of burgundy brick color, and this one, yeah, of course, is even more so. So these two you can clearly, the Bordeaux ones you can clearly see has a little bit of age on them. The United States one has the purple shine, and this one is just clear red, bright like ruby red, you would say. Nose gives me associations again to kind of dark forest, deep dark red fruit, plums and prunes and pomegranate. It's not very dark, but it has some that's kind of more on the lighter side. But it has a lot of kind of I'm expecting acidity when I smell it, because it smells really fresh. There are some tannins there, but I wouldn't say medium plus on it. I would say like medium, also medium on the acidity. Fades away quite fast actually. Not overly complex. I would characterize this wine as kind of light red berries with a hint of wood, and not very complex at all. Which is, yeah, it's 13%, so that might explain, you know, the mouthfeel not being too heavy. But the West Side Bordeaux was also just 13%, but it still had way more complexity. So today I think we have a clear winner. From my liking, West Side of Bordeaux took number one. I should say East Side Bordeaux and United States are kind of tied on second, depending on the occasion. With food, East Side Bordeaux; to drink, United States. And unfortunately, in this lineup, Italy didn't make the cut. I am sorry, Italy. You will come back stronger when we will taste Barolos and Barbarescos and Super Tuscans, perhaps next week. So, speaking of next week, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have learned something, and if you have, please like, comment, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Give me suggestions to what I should focus on in the future, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.